I would like to request Julie what she wants to say, because she has to leave 3 o'clock as well. So I know that, although she came late, but she can start now, and she is doing wonderful work with us. Previously from Bolton, Member of Parliament Brian Eden was guiding us how to work in the Parliament, and now she is the very lead person in now. So I would like to request Julie Ing, Member of Parliament from Bolton West, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to this. I'll just start by, I put a question down, and I got the reply, did I get the reply sort of last week, to ask the Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs what recent discussions he's had with his counterparts in India and Pakistan on the future of Kashmir, and what recent reports he's received on progress towards self-determination for the people of Kashmir. And the reply from Alistair Burns was, officials in our High Commissions in Islamabad and New Delhi regularly discuss India-Pakistan relations, including Kashmir, with their counterparts. However, the long-standing position of the UK is that it's for India and Pakistan to find a lasting resolution to the situation in Kashmir, one which takes into account the wishes of the Kashmiri people. It's not for the UK to prescribe a solution or to mediate in finding one. My right honourable friend, the Foreign Secretary, reiterated this in the Foreign Affairs debate on the 27th of May and during his visit to Pakistan in June. We continue to call for an improvement in the human rights situation on both sides of the line of control and for an end to external support for violence in Kashmir. UK funding supports human rights, conflict prevention and peace building efforts on both sides of the line of control. And I think the one thing that for me that's sad with that is the statement, it's not for the UK to prescribe a solution, fine, or to mediate in finding one. And I think that's the thing that we have to try and shift, because I do think that the UK has a real right to do it. So really sort of following on from the things that Vernon was saying, one thing I do, I'd challenge any of you now to walk outside this building, to stop somebody on the street and say, what do you know about Kashmir? And the chances are they'd say they sell really nice jumpers in Marks and Sparks. Because people don't understand about Kashmir, they don't understand the city. And I would say for me, even though it's something I've been trying to learn about, particularly for the last few months, I still don't know a great deal about Kashmir. And I think, as Vernon says, one of the things that we've got to do is raise it up the agenda. And if you look at areas where there is either some resolution or movement towards resolution, so if you think about Northern Ireland, which was a sort of entrenched situation for us for very many years, there is some solution now in Northern Ireland. It's not a complete solution, and there's still people on either side that are arguing against it, but there is a solution. And if you look at Palestine, and I apologise to people that heard me say this on several occasions before, but a few years ago, Israel was seen as the right place, and Palestinians and Palestine was seen as that they were the bad people. And over a period of time, we've managed to shift public opinion to actually say, some of that's around the actions that Israel has taken, of course, but people now would say, actually, the Palestinians have got a just cause, and internationally we've got to find resolution to it. And it seems to me that we've got to move Kashmir from one of those situations, well, isn't that a country somewhere a long way away from here, to actually being something that's in popular minds, to say, actually, we have to collectively do something about the situation in Kashmir. So I will just spend a few minutes just talking about some of the things that I think that we should be doing with that. I mean, of course, the points that Vernon was making, I just absolutely endorse those. We need to be doing something in this place, in both houses, really, to raise those issues. And so that it's being raised up the political agenda here. But for me, there's also a situation outside of here. We had a meeting, a women's meeting in Bolton on Saturday, which was excellent. But I think probably an eye-opener for you and other people that were there as well, from some of the men that were there. Because there were women who are of Kashmiri heritage who were saying, actually, I don't really know what the issues are. So these were actually people of as I say, of Kashmiri heritage who didn't know the issues, let alone looking at the wider population out there. And if within the community people don't know, then you've got no hope that me or anybody else is going to know what those issues are. So for me, there is something about education, and I do think, I mean, it's good to see now sort of two sisters here. I don't think there's anybody behind.
There is another one.
Three sisters here. But again, one of the things that continuously,
you will see that end up on.
You know that it's one of the things that I'm saying. Actually, who are the educators? And so often it's women that are educators, because it's women that are talking to the children, it's women that are talking in the community about issues. So we need to be making sure that women know about the issues, and that women are part of the campaign on the issues as well. And I think it's important that we don't continue to talk to ourselves. So it is about every time there's a meeting around Kashmir, how many more people can be brought? And I'm as guilty of that in terms of bringing parliamentary colleagues to meetings like this, and I'll hold my hands up and say I haven't done that today. But how many people are in this audience are new to the issues, and how many people, so it is about making that wider and making sure that we're educating more people. And I also think, it's something we talked about for other causes. And it's like, do you have a demonstration at Bolton Town Centre about the situation in Kashmir? And I would say, no, you don't. What you may do is have a marquee up with pictures about Kashmir, with the stories of Kashmir. So actually you're encouraging people to come and look at the issues. So I think that has to be at the sort of lowest level of the community, so in the local community centre, in the pub, in the wherever, so that people actually go, oh yeah, I've heard that about Kashmir. So it's getting it into that sort of popular views around. And particularly what I would be saying, it needs to be coming into the sort of white community particularly as well, because it has to be seen as a people's issue, not an Asian issue, not a Kashmiri issue. It's got to be seen as our issue, an issue of human rights. So that's why I'm saying, in the pub, in the other, so it is there being discussed as it's not right, and we should be doing something about it. So I do think that as a group and as individuals, we need to think about how can we tell the story more. How can we make sure that when there are massacres and there are catastrophes over there, it actually is in the press? Because of course we know in our press as well, if it happens in America, it's going to be in the papers. But if it happens in, likelihood in India, Pakistan, Russia, anywhere, it doesn't make the papers. How do we make it make the papers? And of course, we haven't just got the ordinary press. We've got our local press. We've got the Bolton News. You've got the Rochdale, whatever it's called. So there's a way to get stories into the local press as well, but also in terms of the new media, in terms of internet and other things. And one of the things that we talked about on Saturday, there's been a Channel 4 programme, which I haven't seen, that's telling the story of Kashmir. Well, all of us now, if we picked up our mobile phones, how many contacts have we got on mobile phones? How many contacts have we got on our internet, in our contacts on our internet? How many contacts have we got on Facebook pages for people who've got Facebook? So isn't it about sending a message to say, you must watch this programme at, 7 o'clock on Tuesday about Kashmir? So again, it's looking at that sort of low-level campaigning to get those issues out there, and to get those issues out as people stories. Because I think the thing for me is, when you talk about countries fighting, then that's countries fighting. But when you talk about the children that are affected, or the families that are affected, or the young men that are affected, that's when it actually comes home. And when you were talking about people who've lost limbs, who've had catastrophic injuries, those are the stories that actually people then go, we've got to do something about. So I think for me it's very much about humanising the story and getting it out as much as we can. I won't take up any more of your time, but I think it's important that we continue to think about different ways of getting the message out, different ways of encouraging people, different ways of educating people, and continue to educate parliamentarians. But often, it's those snapshots, it's the small bits. It's not, it's not the book that's the vast history, but it's about, the here and now, what can we do about it. So thank you very much, and I do. If we put in for an adjournment debate, somebody needs to write my speech, but it is something.
That's no problem. You got your colleague there. If he's selected to Sunday, then no speech. If not, then he's ready.
But I think it is something that we can continue to do, and something that maybe we need to look at and say, well, do we go for because you can get an hour and a half debate in Westminster Hall, if there are a number of people putting in to speak on it. So it's about, I think, is looking to see how can we support each other across, and whatever our political, political party affiliations are. This is an issue of human rights. It is an issue that we need to be working on, and whoever's in government, it's been entrenched for so many years. It's about looking to see how can we make that movement now. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for keep nagging me, and I will continue to do what I can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.